You know this secret gives you everything you want. What kind of a house do you want to live in?
Do you want to be a millionaire?
What kind of a business do you want to have?
Do you want more success?
What do you really want?
And whatever you think about on a continuing basis, you draw into your life and you make into your reality because of this superconscious capability. No matter how big your goals are, no matter how far away they are, if you can hold them in your mind on a continuing basis, you can make them your reality.
The biology of belief reveals how our thoughts create our reality. And if you start investing in thoughts that are counterproductive, thoughts like fear, or what am I going to do, and how am I going to escape this problem, or how is this going to go wrong, and all these other kinds of thoughts that are negative kinds of thoughts, then realize this: you are actually not just using your energy for having these thoughts, but these thoughts are also what come into your reality. What you focus on with your thoughts, your brain will manifest as reality.
The best piece of advice that I ever received is that you are what you think about. Everything that you think about, you become. Thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to behaviors. Behaviors leads to lifestyle. Lifestyle determines your destiny. So everything begins in the mind. If you can control and wield your mind, you can very much determine your destiny. If you decide to work on your business and you decide and you commit and you determine your mindset and you wield it, you can become successful. If you determine to be rich, you'll be rich. Everything is in your control.
Take the first step. The first step is always the hardest step, because it forces you, like a chick breaking out of an egg when it hatches. The first step forces you to break out of your comfort zone. And the comfort zone is so strong that probably 90% of people are held back from their full potential all their life because of this vice-like comfort zone. And when you take the first step, the only way you can do it is break out. And suddenly you see the second step and the third step and the fourth step. And then as you take the steps, your self-esteem goes up and your self-confidence goes up and you become more creative and you start to think of all kinds of ideas, and people say, what's gotten into you? I mean, what are you smoking? Because whatever it is, you should share it with the other.
The most powerful words to get anything you want, what's the chance? And the more you can come from a mindset of what's the chance you can help me out with this? What's the chance I can get an upgrade on this hotel? What's the chance you can get me to first class? What's the chance I can get a discount on this right now? What's the chance you can give me half off? You may not get exactly what you want, but you're creating a playful, open connection with someone to allow for goodness to come to your life. It's not being manipulative, but it's creating an opening for miracles to occur.
But are we receptive to it? Are we available to it? So when you're in the vibration of gratitude, then more good can flow into your life because you're not hindering it. You know, parents used to say to kids, you know, if you don't stop crying, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. The universe is saying, if you don't stop being grateful, I'm gonna give you something to be grateful for. It's a whole different frequency. But it takes practice until you have a smile on your face most of the time. People wonder what you're smiling at, you know.
All the great leaders, all down through history, as far back as you want to go, have been in complete and unanimous agreement on one point, that we become what we think about. And why is that so? Because we have the freedom to think anything we want. We can originate thoughts, or we can pick thoughts just out of the ether. And we can internalize those thoughts. We can bring them together and build beautiful ideas, or we can build terrible ideas. But the ideas we build are going to determine the vibration we're in. And the vibration we're in is going to dictate the energy that we attract to us. Now ask yourself, what do you really want? Think about it for a moment. What kind of relationships do you want? What kind of health do you want to experience? Do you want prosperity? What kind of a business do you want? Do you know that you are the architect of your life? You truly are. And you can tap into this infinite source of supply. And it is an infinite source of supply.
Every morning when you wake up, visualize and feel exactly what it is that you want in life. You don't have to worry about how it happens. You just have to focus all of your energy on feeling as if it already happened. And if you can do that, then the right circumstances, the right people, the right opportunities will show up to get you the vision that you have for your life. Because in truth, it really isn't the universe. It is you in verse. In other words, it's everything that you think and feel inside of yourself about life is what you are calling in to your reality. You're the one creating your reality.
The law of attraction is a linguistic convenience for resonance. It's all vibration, you see. You're not just attracting something to you. You're actually in resonance with it. If you plant a seed in the ground, the seed doesn't attract a rose bush. The rose bush emerges from the seed. So in the same way, we have infinite potential, infinite possibilities within us. As the right condition happens, then the next level of us emerges from that. It's already here. It's not out there. And people will say, you attracted some good stuff. Yeah, but it was in here. It just became visible. It's me becoming more me. The things will show up. Right. But they may be better than what you even imagine. The really great stuff is beyond your imagination. When I look at a lot of the things I've had the privilege of being a part of, none of those things are on my vision board. It came as an outpicturing of who I was and the gift I wanted to share. I look back on it and says, wow, that was really beautiful. That was fantastic. Or I didn't even know that existed.
When the heart begins to open and it begins to become coherent, in other words, when you're feeling love and gratitude, kindness and care, there's a rhythm, there's a cadence that the heart has that's very coherent. When the heart gets coherent, we start releasing different chemicals. Then when we feel angry or we feel victimized, there's just a different chemical elixir. And oxytocin is released. And oxytocin signals nitric oxide that causes the arteries in your heart to literally dilate. The heart gets filled with energy. It's gorged with blood. You're calling energy back to you and you're building your own field. And there's energy now to heal. There's energy now to create. There's energy now for the mystical experience. You can't do that if you're feeling frustrated or if you're feeling anger, if you're feeling resentment. You have to convert. You have to teach a person how to get into that elevated state. And the side effect of that is forgiveness. It's not something that you have to do. It's just something that automatically happens.
Well, the law works like this. If you don't stop being grateful, then the law will vibrationally match and give you more and more to be grateful for. You wake up, you become grateful. You go through traffic, grateful you got a car. You're in line, you're grateful you're in the supermarket line, you can buy some food. Whatever it is. If you're on a downward spiral, you're on that frequency of discomfort, disease, not enoughness, you say, how can it get better than this? And then your mind will start to be flooded with how it can get better. And then when you're rising and you're having a really great day, you ask the same question. How can it get better than this? Because we're dealing with something that's infinite. So wherever you are, you're barely scratching the surface of the next moment that wants to emerge through you, the next gift, the next power, the next revelation. So you stay in that frequency.
Even though there's these crazy things that happen in childhood, it creates the pressure that then leads you to a spiritual awakening, to the more authentic version of you, to following your purpose or whatever it is. So there's a lot of healing that comes with that. And between that and also meditation is huge for me. Meditation, observing your thoughts stops the momentum of the negative thinking and identifying with those thoughts. And that's where you can also become aware of the emotions you have, because all emotion stems from some meaning we give things. Emotion is created from meaning, from belief. We must first believe something to be true to generate emotion. So a big part of raising vibration is awareness, becoming aware of the beliefs, the labels, the patterns, the familiar childhood dynamics.
You can create the most wonderful, beautiful, loving life you could ever imagine, you know? Age not relevant. I'm going to be 80 in a couple of months here, and it's like, I'm not going there, folks. I don't have time. I'm enjoying the life so much. My telomeres keep growing all the time because the joy of being alive. Can you say that? Can a person wake up and say, I love my life so much. Every day I love it. I wake up and I'm so happy to be here and play. And I said, how many people can do that? And I go, not that many. I go, why? Because they're programming. They bought into their failures as part of their life, and that's the way life is. And I thought, that's not the way life is. You're the creator. You are the creator. Will you own that?
Some people spend their whole life dreaming in lack and never actually realizing their goals, right? So they're waiting for their wealth to occur to feel abundant. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. They're waiting for their healing to feel gratitude and wholeness. They're waiting for the mystical moment to feel awe. They're waiting for their success to feel empowered. They're waiting for something to change in their outer environment to take away the lack or separation from not having it in their inner environment. So for the most part, they're living by cause and effect. So what do you do when you're matter trying to change matter? You work harder. You try harder, you force, you control, you manipulate. That's what matter does when it's trying to change matter. And so we're rushing constantly in separation for the experience that produces the emotion or the feeling that takes it away.
Internal integrity, being true to yourself, being true to the very best that is in you, is the starting point. But the outward expression of it is doing what you do in a quality way. You see, the work that you do with your hands, the work that you choose to hand in, the work that you choose to represent, that would be a symbol of you, is a mark of your true level of integrity. A person who has a high level of integrity does excellent work. A person with a low level of integrity does whatever they can get away with.
You can manifest absolutely anything that you want in this life, but you've got to deeply, deeply imagine it, and not just imagine it from the outside looking in. You have to imagine you are there. You have to feel the feeling of where you are, smell the smells, listen to the sounds. You have got to trick your mind and body into believing it is real. It will put an imprint on the universe and it will pull you towards it.
The fear of failure is the greatest single obstacle to success in adult life. And it's not failure itself, because each one of you is a professional failure. Each one of you has failed over and over and over again. Isn't that true? All of us fail. All human beings fail over and over. 9 out of 10 things that we try don't work out the way we expected. We have failures in relationships and in jobs and in careers and investments and everything. It's not the failure that holds you back. The failure makes you smarter. We say that it is the fear of failure, not failure, that holds you back. And the way that you overcome failure is you never consider the possibility of failure. The rule is this, is there's no such thing as failure, there's only feedback. Is when you try something that doesn't work, you get feedback, not failure. And recognize that most things you try aren't going to work the first few times. So what you do is you say, oh, that's an interesting bit of feedback. And you pick yourself up and you move forward and you have more feedback and you move forward. To become a self-made millionaire, you're going to fail over and over again, year after year after year. But your brain has a cybernetic mechanism, which means that every time you try something, you get feedback, which makes you smarter. And when you try something else, you get feedback, which makes you smarter, and eventually you reach the point where you're too smart and you stop making mistakes.
Writing causes thinking. Thinking creates an image. And you get these images going, you're building a vision in your mind. It's the visionaries that's changed the world. Think of that. The fact that I can sit and look into this camera, and you can sit and look at me on your phone, or on your TV, or on your laptop. That was the result of somebody's vision. Do you know everything you've got, the clothes you wear, the house you live in, this microphone that's in front of me, it was all the result of somebody's vision. It's not an accident. You and I have a marvelous imagination. And everything starts with a vision.
There's a level that you've always dreamed about. It is real. It has not gone away. But it takes that extra burst when you think there's nothing left. There's no way. You've tried everything 10 million times and you keep going. It's almost like God is saying, if you keep hitting this wall enough times, I will see that you will not stop, that you are filled with that level of determination, faith, and courage, and then the door opens and you get to that next level. But what most people don't know is the next level is just 2 millimeters above. It's a level where you are not one of the best, you are the best. And you know what's amazing? You only have to be 2 millimeters more than everybody else and you get everything. You get the joy, the laughter, the fun, the family, the passion, the economics, the freedom, the spirit. It's all there. And it's just 2 millimeters above, and most excellent people give up because they're exhausted. And there's some people who go, the harder I hit it, the more I hit it, sooner or later it's going down. I'm not stopping. And when you do that enough, it pops open.
The key to overcoming procrastination is to develop a sense of urgency. Be the kind of person who gets things done quickly. Be the kind of person who launches fast on a task. One of the ways to launch fast on a task is to take the task and break it up. What is called salami slicing it. Slice a piece of salami. Don't try to eat a whole loaf of salami. You just eat it one slice at a time. Take your task and break it up into small pieces and do one piece at a time. Say over and over to yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now. Do you know that less than 2% of the population have a sense of urgency? And that there is not an example of a successful person anywhere who does not have a sense of urgency? That if you just develop a sense of urgency, when somebody gives you a task, that you get on it and do it fast, that alone will move you into the top ranks.
in a very short period of time.
Everything that happens to us is a function of our inner vibration that's sparked by our inner thoughts in our mind, or moreover, the emotions that we pump through this vessel that brings about circumstances that will yield a manifestation, an actualization of what we were thinking about.
Self-image is very important because self-image, feeling good about yourself, is prosperity. Prosperity begins with that. Doesn't matter how much money you have, if you don't feel good about yourself, you're never going to enjoy it. And then look at your prosperity now, because everything that you do have in your life is a reflection of what you believe you deserve, what you believe about yourself.
The meditations I remember the most were the hard ones, not the easy ones, the ones where I had to sit with myself and I would not give up. Those are the ones that mattered the most because that's what got them to that point, right? It was the overcoming process. Nobody wants to overcome.
No.
Amazon Prime just spoiled us, you just want it, right? But it's the overcoming process, that 95% that's programmed. That's what you got to dig deep in, and you got to become really conscious of it. And that overcoming process, the side effect of that is the actual becoming process. The body's liberated, energy naturally moves to the heart. It's not like something that you have to do. The body's no longer tormented emotionally by the past. It's no longer habituated into the past. It's no longer believing in the past. Energy naturally moves into the heart when it's not in survival. It's where it should be going. And now we're ready to create. So it's important for people to understand that you always have to give something up from your past in order to create a new future.
Stop saying, I got to go to work. I got to work out. I got to get this weight off of me. I got to go and meet with the people at the school. I got to deal with my coworkers. Change one word in that sentence and everything about your life changes. I get to wake up in the morning. I get to go to work. I get to go and meet with these people today. When you say I got to, you take all of your opportunities and all of your blessings and you wrap them up in stress by saying I got to. You take all the stress off of it when you say I get to.
You see, there is a part of you that is ready to make an enormous change, and this is why you have created me in your life. With the use of this tape and the ideas I'm sharing with you, you have the opportunity to go over and over this tape, and each time you do, you're going to find a new idea to work with. And each time you do, you're going to look deeper into yourself, and quite the contrary to what you may have believed in the past. You are going to find incredibly beautiful treasures within you. First of all, we need to figure out what the problem is. Oh, I know. You think you know the problem. You don't care for the weight of your body, or you have an illness, or you can't get your money act together, or you're lonely, or you have a relationship that's not working, or you don't like your job, or you want to do something very different, or many things. But to me, these are all outer effects of an inner thought pattern that is creating. And if we spend our time just looking at the outer effects and working with those, the moment we fix one, we'll create another one. Because the inner belief is still there and saying that we don't deserve on some level.
Do you know that every great leader that has ever lived, every one of them, they've been in complete unanimous agreement. At one point, they've disagreed on virtually everything else, that we become what we think about. Solomon put it very well. He was a pretty bright guy. He said, as a person thinketh in their heart, it's not just the thoughts that are running across the screen of your conscious mind, it's the ones you internalize. We truly do become what we think about. See, the thoughts that we're thinking produce the results that we're getting.
You want to use your imagination to place in your imagination what it is that you would like to attract into your life, and you hold on to it. And that's the secret. It's called having a burning desire. I learned it from Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. People who are able to attract prosperity into their life have a burning desire, and they never place their thoughts on what they can't have. They just don't think in those ways. Self-actualizing people always place their attention on what is showing up in their life. So the first thing you do is you place in your imagination.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
Start working for yourself. Sky's the limit.
What is the one thing that people who made $1 million that they did that I guarantee you are not doing? It is called work. They worked 12 to 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week on making money. They had an obsession with making money. That's all they thought about. They had singular focus. They had singleness of purpose. And I guarantee you don't do that because you want to live a balanced life. Well, I'm sorry, but people who succeed in life don't live a balanced life. It is a fantasy. It is a myth. If you say, I want to live a balanced life and make millions, welcome to Fantasy Island.
Is there any better feeling than being locked in?
No.
Like when you are locked in and you are, you know, you're taking and you're in a rhythm and you every day you're knocking it down. You never miss a step. Like you go to bed feeling great. You wake up feeling inspired. You go in the gym with energy, right? Like that's the best way to live it.
But I promise you, bro, you have so much potential. If you literally just took it and put it in one place, you could literally change your life.
Truly believe that if you put your 100% effort into something, then you can't lose. God knows if you deserve the results. And if you truly try, you truly commit yourself 100% to something, I don't see how you can fail it. That I don't think you can. That I refuse. I completely refuse. You can't fail it.
You said you were going to do it this year, but you didn't. So what's going to be different about this year? What kind of person are you going to actually become in order to achieve what the you want to achieve?
If you actually want something, you can have it. Now the question then would be, well, what do you mean by actually want? And the answer is that you reorient your life in every possible way to make the probability that that will occur as certain as possible. And maybe all you have to do to get it is ask. But the asking isn't a whim or today's wish. It's like you have to be deadly serious about it. You have to think, okay, like I'm taking stock of myself. What is it that I would aim at?
The universe is always responding to you according to your energy and vibration, and your thoughts and beliefs are creating your energy and vibration, and everything is communicating with everything else. With repetition, any thought, any image that is repeated over and over and over again, it will take an imprint onto the subconscious. And that's where it gets really exciting, because the subconscious will then begin working for you. It's all based upon science. We think that life just randomly happens to us, and good breaks and bad breaks, and some people get the opportunities and some people don't. But that's not the way it works.
Here's a reminder for you today. The universe will always say yes. Whatever it is that you're seeking, it will always say yes. And here's the paradox. If you are wanting money, if you are wanting love, if you're wanting to no longer struggle, if you're wanting that break, the universe will say yes. And you'll continue experiencing more of that lack, because the universe always gives you what you are in this present moment. And it is one of the biggest paradox to wrap your head around, that you are a manifester right now. Manifestation isn't magic. My goal with my work is to wake you up to the realization that you're in a state of manifestation now, whether you know that consciously or not. So if you're in a state of wanting, the universe will say yes, and you'll continue manifesting more of that. However, when you move beyond wanting into a state of being that's aligned with the future, when you move to this state of having and you rehearse already having money, already having that relationship, already having that success, already having that healing in your life, the universe will always say yes. You attract into your life what you are, not what you want. Trust me.
The fourth habit of billionaires, you have to make the call. You have to send the DM. You have to show up. You got to send the letter. You don't get what you don't ask for. You don't get what you're not willing to ask for.
The number one thing that's keeping you poor is your mouth, what you say. You see, what you say is what you get. Your tongue is a creative force. Words have power, more power than you could ever imagine. Every word that comes out of your mouth has 100 to 1,000 times more power than a thought. If you believe that what you say will happen, you will get whatever you say.
There is all the money that everybody needs and wants waiting there for them.
The way you feel about money is highly uncorrelated to how much you've got in the bank.
You have to change the way you think.
Listen to me. Rich people think different. So what I'm going to put in your head today is a rich people concept, so you can get to understand it. The only difference between successful people and not is just how they think. Rich people think different. Quit letting people tell you you got to get qualified in another program. You don't need another program to be successful. You need to change the way you think.
How would an abundant person think? Write it down, dude, and fire and wire those thoughts in your brain and install the hardware. Keep doing it with attention and intention. It becomes the new voice in your head. It becomes a software program. Then say, okay, how am I going to be in my life today? What would an abundant person, how would they behave? And before you reach for your cell phone and start scrolling through your social media, close your eyes and rehearse in your mind how that person would walk, how they would breathe, how they would smile, how they would greet people, how they would be on Zoom calls, how would they be in traffic, how would they be at dinner. And the act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing the act, if you're truly present, the brain does not know the difference between the real life experience and what you're imagining.
Say no to the paycheck. Paycheck make you poor because they make a slave mindset, not a master mindset.
Make up your mind. That's this idea of you got to be realistic, that you got to be logical is a bunch of nonsense. You don't have to be logical at all. I've been totally illogical many times, and it's helped me earn a lot of money.
When you speak of your poverty and lack of education, you are simply directing your mind power to attract these undesirable circumstances. Because it is true that whatever your mind feeds upon, your mind attracts to you. Now you see why it is important that you recognize that all success begins with definiteness of purpose, with a clear picture in your mind of precisely what you want from life.
You are on your way to making your fortune. You can do it. You have greatness within you. Remember, you were born to win. You were engineered for success. You were designed for accomplishment, and you were endowed with the seeds of greatness.
Do you want to become a billionaire? Then you have to think like a billionaire. Billionaires do not think about pennies and cents and dollars. They think big, and they think of ways of getting there, not of ways of not getting there.
There is all the money that everybody needs and wants waiting there for them. And there's only one reason it's not in their lives, and that's because they're stopping it from coming into their lives.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How are we stopping it?
By thinking we don't have enough, by thinking we don't deserve it, by maybe being programmed the way you were, that my family didn't have very much, I'm destined to not have very much, kind of born on the wrong side of the tracks kind of thing, or all of those thoughts. To believe that we only get money through our job. If you believe that that's the only way you're going to get money, that's the only way that you're going to get money. But you can get money from unbelievable, unlimited different ways.
If you decide you want to be rich, all you gotta do is start. Why not? Who gonna stop you? Unless you tell it to the wrong person. Mama, listen to me. I'm going to be rich. Ain't anybody rich in this family. Go in there and sit down somewhere. Get yourself a good job. Oh, mama, you must be right. No, mama could be wrong. Because what you have in your imagination, God didn't show it to your mama. I'm sorry. He showed it to you.
Know what you want and believe that you can and will get it. Give expressions of gratitude many times. daily for having received that which you want, even before you actually get physical possession of it. Possession starts first in the mind. Please remember this. Remember, there can be no application of applied faith without action. When overtaken by defeat, as you may be many times, remember that man's faith is tested many times before he is crowned with final victory. And accept your defeat as nothing more than a challenge to keep on trying.
But I'm starting to realize, bro, when you dance to your own rhythm, when you play by your own rules, and you living through your vision, that's a perfect indication you're doing it correctly. Because they literally don't see what you see. They don't see it. They don't see what you see. They don't see as far as you see. And they don't understand why you see what you see. They don't even understand where it's coming from internally. They don't. I didn't get that back then. I just knew I had the desire for more. I knew I had a vision that I couldn't ignore.
There is no end to what you're capable of doing. Once you get into this vibration, you'll start attracting things. Opportunity is just going to pop up everywhere you go.
Delayed gratification, which means putting off enjoying the fruits of your labor for a period of time. It's temporary so that you're focused in on what you're doing. This is the one thing that people always did that people that are not successful don't do. They're obsessed with making money. They're obsessed with their mission, their purpose, their idea, their project, and it's all they do. It's all they think about. They eat, drink, and sleep this obsession. They work on it, but it's not work to them. They absolutely love the journey because they understand the journey is actually the reward.